We're back! This episode, let's learn together. This time about simulation theory. We're going way beyond the stuff you already know. We asked the hard questions and explored the edge of modern science to get you these solid facts. We're talking about the kind of stuff that makes you think, wait, this can't really be possible? So don't leave now, because we sprinkled the ones you need to know near the end. Let's go! Alright, let's set the stage. The idea that our reality might be a simulation is older and deeper than you might think. It's a concept that has fascinated thinkers, writers, and scientists for centuries, weaving its way through philosophy, literature, and now, cutting-edge technology. The roots of simulation theory stretch far beyond the digital age, reaching into the very heart of how humans have always questioned the nature of existence. Way back in the 17th century, philosopher René Descartes questioned the nature of reality, asking how we can truly know what's real. His famous phrase, "I think, therefore I am," was a response to the possibility that everything we experience could be an illusion, a dream, or even a deception by some higher power. Descartes' skepticism laid the groundwork for centuries of debate about the limits of human perception. Fast forward to the 20th century, thinkers like Jean Baudrillard explored the concept of simulated realities in culture and media. Baudrillard's work, especially in Simulacra and Simulation, argued that modern society is filled with copies and representations, blurring the line between what's real and what's artificial. These ideas inspired countless science fiction stories and films, from The Matrix to Inception, that challenge our understanding of reality. As computers emerged, the idea of digital worlds took shape. Early computer scientists began to imagine entire universes created by code. The development of mainframes and the first simulations in the 1960s and 70s opened up new possibilities, allowing researchers to model not just numbers, but entire environments and systems. This was the dawn of a new era, where the boundaries between the virtual and the real began to blur. Some early simulations were all about modeling complex systems, like weather or economics, using the power of computation. These digital experiments showed that with enough data and processing power, we could recreate aspects of our world inside a machine. This realization sparked new questions. If we can simulate parts of reality, could we one day simulate all of it? And if so, how would we know the difference? In the 21st century, philosopher Nick Bostrom brought simulation theory into the mainstream, arguing that advanced civilizations could create simulated realities indistinguishable from our own. His famous simulation argument suggests that if it's possible to simulate consciousness, then it's likely we're already living in a simulation. Bostrom's ideas have sparked intense debate in academic circles and beyond, making simulation theory a hot topic in both philosophy and science. Today, the theory inspires debates among scientists, philosophers, and technologists, as virtual worlds become more lifelike than ever. With the rise of virtual reality, artificial intelligence, and hyper-realistic simulations, the line between the digital and the physical is getting harder to define. People are spending more time in digital spaces, raising new questions about identity, consciousness, and what it means to be real. The simulation hypothesis continues to evolve, blending philosophy, technology, and pop culture into one big question: what is reality really? As new discoveries are made and technology advances, the conversation only grows more complex and intriguing. The idea has become a cultural phenomenon, inspiring books, movies, and endless online debates. The point is, simulation theory has a rich history, and is still sparking new ideas and conversations. It's a topic that refuses to fade away, constantly reinventing itself as our understanding of the universe, and our technology, evolves. So, if you thought simulation theory was just a modern sci-fi trope, you're about to discover a fascinating journey through philosophy and technology. Get ready to dive deeper into the mysteries of existence as we explore how ancient questions and futuristic visions collide in the ever-expanding universe of simulation theory. Alright, let's dive into one of the most mind-bending questions out there. Are we living in a simulation? This idea isn't just science fiction anymore. It's a topic that's captured the imagination of scientists, philosophers, and even tech billionaires. The notion that our entire reality could be an elaborate computer program is both fascinating and a little unsettling. Philosophers have debated this for years, with some arguing that advanced civilizations could create hyper-realistic simulations indistinguishable from reality. If a civilization became technologically advanced enough, they might have the power and resources to simulate entire universes, complete with conscious beings who have no idea they're inside a simulation. The idea is that if technology keeps advancing, it's only a matter of time before simulations become so sophisticated, we wouldn't know the difference. Imagine a future where computers are powerful enough to replicate every detail of our world, from the laws of physics to the complexity of human thought. Naturally, this has sparked intense debate in both scientific and philosophical circles. Some see it as a serious possibility while others view it as a fun but ultimately unprovable hypothesis. Critics argue there's no concrete evidence for simulation theory and that it's more of a thought experiment than a scientific hypothesis. They point out that, so far, all we have are intriguing questions and clever arguments, but nothing that can be tested or measured. And to be fair, they have a point. There's currently no way to prove or disprove the theory. The tools and methods we have today just aren't equipped to answer such a massive, reality-shaking question. But here's the flip side. Some scientists and thinkers believe that as our understanding of physics and computing grows, we might find clues that point toward a simulated universe. They suggest that if we look closely enough, we might spot inconsistencies or patterns that don't quite fit with what we'd expect from a base reality. There's ongoing research into quantum mechanics and computational limits, searching for glitches or patterns that could hint at artificiality. Some researchers are even exploring whether the universe has a kind of resolution, like pixels in a digital image, which could be a sign of underlying code. Thinkers like Nick Bostrom and Elon Musk have popularized the idea, suggesting that the odds might actually favor us living in a simulation. Bostrom's famous argument proposes that if simulated realities are possible, and if civilizations tend to create them, then statistically, we're more likely to be in one than not. So, while the simulation debate is far from settled, it's clear that both philosophical and scientific communities are deeply engaged in exploring the possibilities. Whether or not we ever find a definitive answer, the question itself pushes us to rethink what we know about existence, technology, and the very nature of reality. Chapter 3. Remember when researchers started running complex simulations to test the boundaries of our reality? Yeah, that was a pretty big deal. It was one of the first times the idea of our universe being a simulation was seriously explored in scientific circles, sending shockwaves through both the scientific community and the public imagination. Now, whether we can ever truly prove or disprove the simulation hypothesis is still up for debate. But here's the thing, these bold experiments have definitely ignited a conversation about the nature of reality itself. Suddenly thinkers and researchers around the world are taking notice, exploring the potential implications and paradoxes of living in a simulated universe. Some are looking at real-world experiments, or thought experiments, which are essentially mental models to test the limits of our understanding, but powered by advances in technology and philosophy. Others are considering new frameworks or even technological approaches to detect signs of a simulated reality. It's a rapidly evolving field, and it'll be fascinating to see how humanity navigates this new era of questioning the very fabric of existence. Chapter 4. Alright, let's dive into simulation theory and how it shows up in pop culture. This is where things get really fascinating. Simulation theory is the idea that our reality might actually be a sophisticated simulation, and it's a concept that's inspired countless movies, books, and TV shows. Think of films like The Matrix or Inception, where characters question the nature of their reality and wonder if the world around them is real or just an illusion. These stories often feature advanced technology or mysterious forces controlling the simulation. That's the allure of simulation theory in fiction. It challenges us to question what's real and sparks our imagination. Now, simulation theory is still just a theory, and there are plenty of skeptics and debates, but the possibilities it opens up are huge. We're talking about stories that make us rethink our place in the universe and connect people through shared wonder and curiosity. And that's something worth getting excited about. Chapter 5. Okay, let's set aside the philosophical jargon for a moment. Instead of getting lost in abstract theories, let's bring the conversation down to earth and see how these ideas might actually show up in your daily routine. Let's talk about how simulation theory could actually influence your everyday life and choices. It's not just a topic for late-night debates or science fiction movies anymore. It's something that can shape the way you see the world, even in the smallest moments. Gone are the days when simulation theory was just a wild idea for philosophers and sci-fi fans. Now it's a concept that's making its way into mainstream culture, technology, and even casual conversations with friends. Today, more people are considering what it means if our reality is, in fact, a simulation. This question isn't just academic, it's personal. It can make you pause and reflect on your own experiences, your memories, and the choices you make every day. Seriously, the idea that our world could be a sophisticated simulation is changing how some people approach their goals, relationships, and even their sense of purpose. For some, it's a reason to live more intentionally, to seek out meaning in every interaction and to question what really matters. Whether you're booking a flight, ordering pizza, or working in tech, the simulation theory can make you question the meaning behind your actions. Are you making choices freely, or are you following a script written by some unseen programmer? And with the rise of digital experiences and virtual worlds, it's easier than ever to blur the lines between what's real and what's simulated. Every time you slip on a VR headset or lose yourself in a video game, you're stepping into a world that feels almost as real as your own. Now, I'm not saying you should question every moment of your existence. But it's interesting to notice how technology is making these questions more relevant, and how our digital lives are starting to mirror our physical ones in surprising ways. But it's fascinating to see how the idea of living in a simulation is becoming more mainstream and shaping our daily conversations. It's not unusual to hear people joke about glitches in the Matrix when something strange happens, or to wonder if déjà vu is a sign of a simulated world. So the next time you find yourself pondering reality, don't be surprised if simulation theory pops up in your thoughts or even at the dinner table. It's a sign of the times. Our search for meaning is evolving right alongside our technology. That wraps up our exploration into the fascinating world of simulation theory. We've uncovered the idea that our reality might be a sophisticated simulation, discussed the arguments from philosophers and scientists, and looked at the technology that could make it possible. But what does it all mean for us? If we are living in a simulation, how would we ever know? And does it change the way we live our lives? Share your thoughts and questions in the comments. What do you think about simulation theory, and what mysteries should we explore next? Until next time, keep questioning reality and stay curious.